All right, there we go. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Green White Checkered TV. Tonight we have race number 2 of the Area 51 Superspeedway Xfinity Series here tonight at Talladega Superspeedway. Say for those that maybe didn't catch last week's race, our season opener. Say we're back at the same track, and of course a few changes from last season to this season, notably 3 laps extras from 75 to 78 scheduled distance, and then also from 1 to 2 faster pairs. So say we're going from the Spider-Man everybody gets one approach to having 2 chances on this one. So say maybe the third strike in, you're out, so we can go baseball approach on this one here tonight. I say gonna welcome in my partner in crime tonight, Chris Matthews. So Chris, always a pleasure to have you with me. I say in all the kind of various series, you've been going after a bunch of them, between the Indy cars, the trucks, the Xfinity cars here tonight. It's always fun doing these with you, and definitely looks like my brother, aka favorite son, chiming in over here from the hospital. Unfortunately, I say for those that are obviously following. Our dad's doing a little bit under the weather, but he's fighting hard and he's doing well, and gonna hopefully get some keep on improving over the course of tonight and tomorrow and so on and so forth. So so far everything's been going pretty well. He's a stubborn on that. He'll be fighting through. So Papa, obviously us all over here, and of course all in the Area 51, you're kind of your dysfunctional sim racing family. We're all thinking of you. We love you, and look forward to seeing you back home and comfortable, and sooner than later, hopefully back on track as well. So just hopefully you're enjoying tonight. Maybe it's something you can fall asleep to. If you can do that, I won't be offended. So please feel free to rest and have some fun. So Chris, we got a good field here tonight. It looks like in the low 30s for the car count tonight. And of course, the big other thing to talk about is the team setup things over here now. Kind of a forcing on Discord 4 drivers to a team. So you don't have that big Discord party of drivers in the 6 to 8, 10, even at times having people. It's 4 pretty much everywhere else. However, of course, there's going to be a little bit of kind of the team A, team B aspects. Okay, these guys, they know who their buddies are, who they race well with, and so we'll probably still see a little bit of inner team kind of associations, kind of a 2311 Joe Gibbs Racing type situation for some of these drivers here tonight.
Oh, definitely. These guys, even though they're, not allowed to be big teams, big corporate teams, so to speak, or even in the satellite function, you're still going to run with who you can trust if your teammate's gone or he has a bad situation happen to him. So you definitely have a little bit of people that you're comfortable racing around. And if that so happens to be your ex-teammates, you might find yourself having to use them, and hopefully you can use them to get yourself a win.
Yeah, exactly right. And that's exactly what we're hoping. Some of the drivers are hoping for kind of a repeat of last week. That's going to be some of those. Used to be TW Motorsports, now switching over to the team, aka Bad Company, as they were able to finish in the top front. Again, it was kind of the TW Motorsports kind of A and B, if you will, from last season. Let's say with Dean Wilkinson getting the win, Todd Siebels, Robert Rock getting the top 3 positions there. So. I think last week it's going to change strategy a little bit, because there were a couple situations where there maybe be an incident that kind of split the pack up but didn't bring out a yellow. So I think some of these drivers may be a little more tentative to kind of just ride in the back and try to avoid the wrecks. So we'll have to wait and see how that comes to play, if it comes into fruition or not. But what we do have now, Chris, is qualifying has completed. So with that being said, we got to pull up our starting grid for tonight's event. And it's going to be a shocking development for the grid, as it's going to be Gabe Butler on pole position in that number 1 machine. And once the grid actually wants to show up for me here, let's try this again here and get it to actually pop up. Because right now I'm getting some full-on technical difficulties, so bear with me here. All right, well, we're going to go a different approach for qualifying tonight. So usually the final standings, but we're going to go on the qualifying side of things, as Gabe Butler able to top Kevin Freese for pole position by 9,000ths of a second. And then you got 1/1000th of a second between Kevin and Jimmy Crow Jr. there in third. Dean Wilkinson, Randy Minor rounding out our top 5. Then you get Charles Johnson, Cody Nagels, Zach Workman, Eric Laurie, and Robert DuPont are top 10. And continuing down the field, you got Vicente Guerrero, Doug Lemon, Les Levy, Dude Conrad, Robert Rock, David Bond, Tom Dixon, Jay Hilliard in 18th. We'll continue down through the top 20, including Bud Steele, Donald Stewart, and then getting to 21st of David Overstreet, J.D. Crow, Ron Blackwell. And I'm saying making a break from golfing over here tonight, Chris. The number in the 24th spot, number 96, Shooter McGavin. So maybe trying to change some interest here from one sport to another. You got Robert Jordan, Ivan Deschamps, Anthony English, Paul Turner there in 28th. And then you get to the last drivers here tonight. You can see no time next to their names opted to start towards the back with Bob Fitzgerald, Dan Harrington, Todd Siebels, Kevin LaChance, and Guy Bracco. So 33 drivers here tonight, Chris. Definitely a packed house tonight. And it's going to be fun to see what these guys get going here as the field starts to roll off of the start-finish line.
Oh, definitely. Definitely like those dual sport athletes. You know, we got Shooter McGavin coming in here. He might be able to show out and show that he is definitely a two-sport player that can win at all levels.
Yeah, so that's definitely a big swing, though, from golf over all the way to sim racing. But, hey, I mean, there's crazier things that we've seen done before. So we've seen athletes, if you will, go from various sports. Obviously, notable one, Michael Jordan, basketball to baseball, back to basketball. So I know there's a lot of drivers, I keep saying that, athletes who kind of bounce between what they want to do. Was like, kind of, do I want to do this or this? Like, which would be the better career path for me? So say maybe Shooter's got something up his sleeves. I'll say he got the what was it, the yellow jacket, the green jacket, I'm not sure which one it was from the movie, but say now he's maybe trying to get some championship pedigree over here with the Area 51 Superspeedway Xfinity Series.
Oh, definitely. So it's going to be a good race tonight. You know, the Xfinity car is definitely a little bit hard to handle, and you are racing a little bit closer. You can do a little bump drafting, even some tandem and some pushing. It's Talladega, so you definitely have to worry about the 3-wide ability that these cars can do. So if you're going to be in the lead, you're almost at the mercy of who's going to be pushing behind you. So hopefully it's a teammate or somebody that definitely likes you.
Yeah, exactly right. You're gonna have to have friends here tonight, and that's why the team situation is so important. You see, I say talk about teammates. I say kind of again we talked about the boot knocker, kind of an A and B right now. You got Gabe Butler. Say he is with one of the groups. I say, and then actually Kevin Freeze in another one of the groups. So while they're teammates formally, they're kind of split up a little bit. And then also, yeah, we'll have to kind of see how that goes. And yeah, looking over the chat. So yeah, got a Cody Nagels fan in the 06 starting in 7th. And Bradley, it's a great question. I'm not sure what happened to Seabass. I definitely miss him being on track. I say he is always one we love having in the field. So yeah, I mean, maybe we need to put him on one of those milk cartons. Where have you seen this man? But I think I heard maybe going back to school. But whatever it is, Sebastian, yeah, definitely if you're around, love to have you back. So even if you can't race, if you want to join us in the booth sometime, feel free. As a green flag, Chris is down and away. Driver's going to get through the gears here as they head into turn number 1. And right now, Kevin Freeze just a nose ahead, but of course that shorter distance is going to start to prevail through the turns for Gabe.
Yeah, it always seems like the inside line gets the better push, but as soon as that outside line gets connected, you'll probably see around lap 2 that we'll definitely have a different leader. So right now we got a good lead out on the bottom line with them pushing, but we're going to see the outside line definitely gang up a little bit better here.
Yeah, it's all about kind of which line gets the push down the back as they head into turn number 3 for the first time. And you can see just about a dead heat going into 3 between Gabe and Kevin. And saying he's got good, both drivers have great pushers behind him there. Jimmy Crow Jr., Dean Wilkinson, definitely ones to watch on the pushing side of things. I say if it was a Daytona situation, you might be feeling pretty good on the outside line. But say as Larry Mack likes to talk about, the start-finish line, it is in the middle of the tri-oval. It is right here out of the tri-oval, and it was a 3-wide heat there at the finish line. Not sure who got lap number 1 there, but those drivers, the bad company group. Oh, caution in the back, actually.
Oh, we already have a wreck.
Looks like, Dan Harrington's heavy damage to that number 82 machine. Looks like he's got the worst of it. We're going to try to find, I think, the 019 possibly of Ivan Deschamps also potentially involved. And yeah, that car looks like it's got a little bit of nose damage, a little bit on the side as well. So that's going to put us under yellow for the first time. So, Chris, let's go back, see if we can find where this all kicked off. Because it was towards the back half of the field in the upper 20s, or maybe even down into the 30s here. So looking towards the back here, looking for that number 19 machine. Actually, you can see, yeah, the 82 looks like they're 3 wide, a little bit further back. So let's pick it up here and take a look. 82 to 19, and just They kind of just squeeze a little bit, maybe a little bit of net code, but yeah, it's unfortunate. So that's gonna kind of knock the incident-free part of the race right off the bat. Unfortunate for them. So no bonus points for an incident-free race. You can see the 4 and the number 69 just sneaking on by there as well. And so that will put us under yellow here. So good opportunity for these leaders here, though, Chris. Probably, I would suspect most are just going to stay out here, save fuel. Maybe we see a few drivers maybe top off and get here. So we'll hang out for a second. We'll see if what we get on this fuel strategy. And then from there, we might step away for just a moment while we're under yellow and then get back to go on that one to go. So let's see what these leaders do here.
Yeah, I figured a lot of times these guys might go ahead and try to get some fuel. Even though this has been one lap, it has changed the fuel strategy just a little bit, and that's all you really need to turn this race around.
Yeah, and I think if you're mid backpack, I think you definitely come and take that splash of fuel. And then, like I said, the question is your race strategy? Do you want to be up front controlling it right now? Gabe definitely looking like he wants to come in, and it might lead a big group of drivers here, or we might see those late dive back onto the track. So we'll see. And so far, pretty much the whole field taken. Looks like that fuel mileage might come into play. There's the first that's going to jump out, Vicente Guerrero. Jay Hilliard, they will stay out and it's like gain a lot of track position. But yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of quick splash and go pit stops here. So while they do that, Chris, like we talked about, let's step away for just a second, catch our breath here and kind of get our water and all that situated, and we'll be back on the one to go. So stay tuned, everyone. We'll be back here shortly.
You got it.
All right, We are lights are off on the pace car here, Chris. Looks like, yeah, like I said, pretty much all but 3 drivers here went ahead and topped off under that yellow. The 3 that stayed out, Vicente Guerrero, Jay Hilliard, and Ron Blackwell. And I'm saying it makes a difference because now Vicente plus 10, Jay plus 16, Ron plus 19, actually plus 20, I should say, with him starting 3rd. And we did have a few top off as well. So basically, you got top 3 did not pit. 4th through 23rd went ahead and pitted. And then 24th on back opted to go and top off on the 1 to go. So I think, like I said, based on this, I'm saying that this means the field is definitely committing to a 2-stop strategy here to try to make it on 2 stops. Of course, it depends on timing of the yellows and such, but I think that's what we're going to be expecting to see these drivers aim for. So now, again, splitting up the field a little bit here, it's going to switch a few things. To say, notably, you got the 1 and the 25, and actually the 18 he mentioned, Zach Workman, right all in step here. So you got 3 of those drivers, part of the boot knocker team, all lined up here. So watch for them to jump to that 3rd line if the momentum allows it. The question is going to be, though, for Vicente Guerrero, does he just wait the latest moment, or does he maybe try to jump early and spread the field apart? So, because he does not have his teammate Cody Nichols too close to him as they run. And it looks like, yeah, going to go ahead and wait a little extra here, which I think is definitely the right call, because otherwise he's just going to put him in a tough spot as the green flag is out. Back underway here on lap number 5. Actually, lap number 6. Apologies.
Definitely a big jump by Vicente, so he's probably going to get swallowed up here on that outside line. But he's going to have help coming around the corner. I think these guys, they already showed that they want to go 3 wide right out the gate, so it might happen again in the next couple of corners that we see here.
Yeah, there it goes. And that was exactly what I was expecting. The 3 boot knockers, they line up. Again, they're not all on the same Discord channel, but they know. You see one do it, and they're like, yep, here's the plan. We're going to all line up. Look at that. The 3 of them clear both lanes straight to the bottom. It doesn't get much better than that for those teammates there. And you can see the 3rd line, another couple of group of boot knockers there. Dude Conrad, Eric Laurie. They're going to try to join the party up in that 3rd lane, but unfortunately the momentum is kind of settled back in a little bit. You see one having this unscheduled pit stop here coming onto pit road. Most likely a pit penalty for that 69 of Guy Bracco, so that's unfortunately going to really set him down the running order. But right now, a little 3-car breakaway. Not, I say they'll catch him back, don't worry, but again, when you get some of these drivers like they are kind of locked on together, they are tough to beat. So this is where the other teammates and everybody are going to start to take notes. Like, all right, we're going to try to split these guys up later on in this race.
Yeah, definitely the teamwork is going to be a real big game changer here, where these guys are already doing that. Hopefully what's going to happen here is they don't want to work together too much longer if someone kind of gets greedy. That'll definitely help the drivers that are kind of on the outs of having the numbers game work for them. But as we see it, we're already seeing a little bit of handling issues within the middle of the pack here, so that might be something to look out for.
Yeah, like I said, these things definitely have the tendency of getting a little squirrely, especially when you get the right push at the right time. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that. So you can see the TW Motorsports teammates, they found their way to the top side. I believe Randy Miner and Jay Hilliard, they found each other. And then you got Team Extreme not too far back as well, the number 617 of Doug Lemon and the 411 Tom Dixon. So keep an eye on those two as well. They will definitely be working their way forward as well. So, and then to answer your question, Quabi, for Zach Workman, he is part of the boot knockers. So basically, like I said, I kind of spy on the chats and who's in what discords. In kind of boot knocker A, if you will, or B, or 1, 2. You got Eric Laurie, Gabe Butler, JD Crow, Jimmy Crow are in one of the groups, and then Dude Conrad, Kevin Fries, and Zach Workman in the other. But what we got to talk about right now is that outside line is formed, and it is potent right now, Chris, as Randy Miner leads that lap at the line there with help from that 59, that teammate, I should say, as well, Jay Hilliard. And then, like I said, you got Team Extreme coming on their way as well, trying to work their way into this also.
Yeah, being on that high line definitely gives you a little bit better handling ability, but once you come off the corner and you're getting the draft and you're trying to figure out where the guy in front of you is going to go, you'll see a lot, just a little bit of snaking going around. And if that happens on the bottom line, you'll have 2 people going for the same position, and that's usually how the big one occurs going into turn 3 sometimes.
Yeah, and that's exactly it, because again, when you're a little bit further back, you're kind of just blindly following that car in front of you. You kind of get lulled into that false sense of security. You're just like, well, I'm just going to follow this guy exactly where he goes, and you may not be clear when you try to make that move. So And I actually also make an addendum there to the Team Extreme. Also the 33, David Bond there, also part of Team Extreme. So they've actually got all 3 of their cars lined up together. So wouldn't be surprised at some point, maybe see them all try to make that jump to the 3rd lane, maybe try to split up TW Motorsports. But right now they're staying pretty comfortable in that middle lane, but that's going to open up that momentum to that 3rd lane. Cody Nagel is going to lead the way. As he is working with, I believe, Limitless Racing in that 06. And then say he's got a couple boot knockers behind him, though, in Dude Conrad and Eric Laurie.
It definitely almost feels like when you're on the outside line that you have to get more than 2 or 3 cars to push you to make that work. And once it happens, everyone in the front definitely wants to go and defend that. And that's usually kind of where you get a big bubble in the middle. And the middle line either separates and breaks up, or they absolutely obliterate both lines, and you actually have the middle lane be the strongest one. So we'll see here as soon as that 06 car gets all the way up to the lead. He has about 2 more cars to go before they're 3 wide each, and I think we get another half a lap, and we'll see a lot of change in directions with these guys.
Yeah, I say right now, because Cody is getting all the push he can get from Dude Conrad and Eric Laurie. Near those 3 have definitely got them to the 101 now. So like I said, we're 3 wide, 3 cars deep, 3 rows deep, I guess I should say. And I wouldn't be surprised to see some more drivers maybe pop up there and try to beef up that outside line. I'm kind of watching the 5 of JD Crow. He's one that likes to get there, and as soon as I say, he peaks up there. So I'm glad I'm kind of picking up the tendency of some of these drivers here, and then say JD straight to the top. He's going to kind of work with those boot knockers as well. So right now you kind of got the boot knocker inside lane, you got the boot knocker outside lane. With that being said, though, like I said, Limitless, Cody Nagel's leading them that outside lane though as they run, and then TW in the middle with Team Extreme right behind them. So definitely a lot of team stuff going on here, and we do have a few drivers that have kind of lost the main pack. Unfortunately, we got the 44 of Anthony English, Paul Turner. They're going to try to work together with the 44 and the 4, but they've lost the draft. It's just going to be trying to minimize the loss. Then also a little further back here, you got Ron Blackwell, Ivan Deschamps, and Dan Harrington. And I'm wondering if Dan, maybe still some lingering damage on that car, just wasn't able to hang on to the draft. So I'll have to keep an eye on Dan over the course of this run. But right now up front, though, it's hard to look away, Chris, because we continue to stay 3 by 3. Inside line definitely still holding very strong. And saying again, when you got drivers that are just so comfortable with each other, like Gabe and Kevin, it's tough to get those extra lines to work. And so I think that's right now where the difficulty is for some of these other guys. So I think right now, at some point, I think we're going to see drivers kind of have to probably fall in line just a little bit. And then we're going to probably have to wait and see that pit stop window. Probably, again, around, I would say, what's we got? Pit out lap number 3. I'm going to say that's going to probably get them to about lap 29, maybe lap 30. I think we would see our scheduled green flag stops from these front runners here.
Yeah, the world's fastest traffic jam is what I like to say when you're in the back here, where you see where the 5 car is at. There's nowhere for you to go. You're just stuck in the lane that you're at, and you really just can't make it to the front unless big things start happening. As we see a little bit of a bobble in the middle of that pack, but definitely the world's fastest traffic jam. You just kind of have to sit and wait, or make things happen yourself if you want to push somebody a little bit harder. But right now, these guys pretty much are dead even with the speed that they have. That inside line is just hooked up a little bit better, but we're going to see that change throughout the race. And
that's exactly it. There's always that ebb and flow with the lines. I say at some point, one group's going to have to kind of cool their car off, which I think we're seeing right now for Dude Conrad. I think he had to duck way out of line there and cool that 8 car off. I think it was getting a little bit hot there in that Yorkville Chevrolet. So, and then you get kind of this, you got these guys pushing hard 3 wide here, 4 rows, 5 rows deep. And then you start looking at the little further back. Let's drop back to some of the bad company drivers. You got Dean Wilkinson right there, Charles Johnson, Bud Steele. They're just rolling in the back. They still easily in the draft, but they're saving fuel. They can run the low line. They can just kind of run partial throttle, just stay in the draft. And saying this is where that strategy kind of evolves. Where okay, now do they want to maybe run long for this first stint? Do they want to maybe try to short pit and take a little less fuel? It kind of gives them options here. And that's kind of the decision of what you want to do. Do you want to push hard early? Do you just want to roll and just ride and save and then wait for the kind of the pit stops to make the big changes? So that's what's fun, is to see kind of who has what game plans. As you can see, that 3rd lane though, it's just given up here now. We can get back to 2 by 2, Chris, and that inside line, as soon as they've done that, the inside line definitely has the surge forward again.
Definitely, that third lane definitely did dissolve, and you'll start seeing here now that everyone's getting a little bit closer. Now that they're back to 2 lines, you'll see a little bit of what I like to call strafing, where these guys have their opening, their grill opening off to the forward right of the bumper where they have the opening. So these guys that get hot, you'll see like that Pepsi car, I think it's 617. You'll see him kind of, everyone kind of get to the side, try to get some air, cool off the engine. You'll see cars sometimes, probably not in this race, but you'll see it sometimes where people just blow up in the middle of the pack, and it just definitely caused a little bit of chaos.
Yeah, and that's the concern. It's like we're talking about, Chris, just pushing too hard, just not getting the temps back down, because then the oil water starts to spike, and at that point you're just along for the ride. Just hope that you can get out of the way before it pops in front of everybody else. But I'm gonna say you definitely spoken like a true FPS shooter player. With the strafing commentary. So definitely showing your colors on some of the gaming you enjoy doing here, sir.
Some things are just universal, but I think these TW Motorsport guys are going to have to figure out a different strategy to get a little bit in front. Just try to do something a little bit different, get some help, maybe figure out what to do when they do get to that side-by-side action again. Maybe they side draft on the outside line, pull away, and then try to get at least one car down, and then do the other thing where they might try to block a little bit.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing to note is when we get the view of it, you kind of can see the distance between the cars of the 1 and the 25, and then the 101 and the 59. The 25 of Kevin Freeze is really able to stay tucked very tight on Gabe Butler, as the 18 of Zach Workman. They stay tucked on each other very nicely without a lot of give. And whereas the 59, the 101, the 617, you can see a lot of times they have about a half a car distance between one another, and that's what's allowed this inside line to stay kind of control of this field here. They're just so well organized. You can see again, they just stay so tight to each other, but able to somehow keep that temperature under check as well. So, but we'll see, because I'm starting to see that third lane start to form once again. And again, we talked to the boot knockers. Once again, the same group here, the 8, the 5, the 071. All teammates here. So we'll see if they can make that charge with the 3 of them, as it's kind of, again, it's the other 3, if you will, that are controlling the show on the inside line. So we'll see if Boot Knocker is going to try to kind of take control of the whole front pack of this race.
Yeah, you see a third line forming all the way in the back there. It'll probably reach itself. There's a little bit of energy push coming, so they might be here in a couple seconds. But we see these TW guys, they're closing in a little bit of a hugging situation. But if anyone needs to get their air free, that's the big thing with these Xfinity cars, that you're so tight on the next guy that you might not be able to get the free air. So a little bit of side drafting going on as we see the third lane coming up, and they got a big push coming.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, again, we talk about the drivers and the comfort of one another, and that's exactly what you have here with that 8, the 5, the 071. I'll say these guys race with each other pretty much week in and week out, and so they know the tendencies. They're even without maybe being in the same channel, same communication, they know, they almost are in each other's heads, if you will, and that's what's really impressive with some of these guys, what they can do. So, again, and that's the thing is, you can try to kind of make adjustments, like I said, maybe limit the Discord groups and put it to 4 cars and all that. But again, a lot of these guys, this is just, like I said, they just know what each other's thinking. Like I said, they'll see a teammate move, like, okay, yep, time to go up top with them, and so on and so forth. And like you said, that shove is coming. They are making ground here as they've just gotten to about the second row here, getting next to Jay Healy. So we're just about to have another 3-wide run for the lead. But the one thing to note, Chris, like you talked about, the middle lane, it's starting to push again, though. That 101 to 59, they've actually just slightly nosed ahead of Gabe over this last lap or two. So that ebb and flow starting to ebb once more.
Yeah, sometimes when you're in that third or fourth car in line, you don't want to push too hard, because there's an accordion effect that's going to happen, and if you hit the guy in front of you wrong just the one time, it might cause the big one. And we see that third line just coming through. Now these guys are dead even. I don't know who's really going to get the energy push right here, but Gael, we've been teammates for a little bit now, and we've done a couple super speedway racing. My philosophy has always been, for this race we have 78 laps. I don't need to go all out all 78 laps. I can kind of sit in the back and chill out, and kind of like the 06 is right now. But I see you and some of our other teammates, they'll be up front the whole time trying to dictate things, kind of like how Gabe Butler in the 25 is doing right now. So for you, what is your advantage of trying to be up front?
Yeah, it's so tough. I'm definitely the same way as you, Chris. I'm one of those guys that's like, okay, let's get to the last pit stop and then we'll talk about trying to get track position. But at the same time, like you said though, you've got the I-5 situation right here. I say you are going to be very hard pressed to maybe try to push a fourth lane, and if you do, you're probably not going to be very liked by your peers on track here. So, and that's the problem, is if you don't get that track position early, you may not be able to get it back late. But strategy-wise, again, I'm going to say knock on wood or whatever items I have near me. I'd be doing the Robert Jordan effect right now, just outside the draft there. I say still easily in the draft, but just outside the pack, just cruising the inside line, staying single file, and leaving a car length or two just in case something happens, and giving yourself some room to react. And of course, like I mentioned too, saving fuel. That's my bread and butter in super speedway racing. I just cruise, I save, and I wait for the late charge to try to make a push. But like I said, the trick is a lot of times at that point, everybody else is doing the exact same thing, trying to find a way to the front. So yeah, it's kind of that you're just stuck in a traffic jam. And one of the races I did here a while back now, probably a couple months ago, I was pretty much just trapped about the fourth or fifth car in line in the middle lane, and just that's just where I had to live because there was nowhere to go, short of anything happening in front of me or around me. So and that's why we're seeing these guys, I think, being so aggressive to want to get the track position and to keep the track position, because these guys are very talented, and it's very hard to gain track position other than during the pit stop window.
Definitely. I'd rather have it out than kind of just be locked into the spot that I'm at, kind of like the 14 car is right now. He might love it where he's at right now. You know, he only has one lane to really deal about or worry about, and he doesn't really have to worry about too much. But definitely, if you wanted to go back, the only other choice that he has is just go into the apron and hopefully catch to the tail pack. But we got about 4 or 5 laps here to the next pit stop. I'm kind of wondering what these guys want to do. We always talk about it where super speedways, where you kind of want to stagger the pit stops. If someone goes all the way, to the wall, you want to be, on the line and give yourself room and give the guy behind you enough room for everyone to kind of make the pit stop. I'm sure these guys have practiced it a lot. They've been together for a couple seasons now, but it's always one of those things that I think we saw last week, that we had an incident that didn't cause a caution, but definitely ruined, a couple people's races, I think in the truck series.
And that's exactly it. The pit stops are going to be crucial, and that's the other reason why it's a good reason why also you want to be towards the front, because right now, yeah, everybody's in the main draft here, Chris, but let's drop to the back of the draft, and that's going to be right now Robert Rock. So wait for the timing and scoring to update. He is 2.7 seconds off the lead of this field. So I mean, you make any mistake on pit road, if you're that far back at the time of entry, you're not going to be able to hold the draft. And so that's another reason. And we talk about strategies. I talk about me just kind of liking to sit and ride and save fuel. That kind of puts me back to what we're seeing right now. When everybody starts to get comfortable, starts losing the third lane, drivers start to kind of just cruise and kind of drop to the inside. And I've been saving the whole run initially. That's where I make my charge. I want to get to that second lane, get to the third lane, push aggressively, because I want to pit towards the front of the field. I don't want to be pitting from 15th to 20th. I want to be right up in the main pack. So we might see some drivers do that who've been cruising, saving fuel early. Now's the time to kind of burn that extra fuel that they saved, again, to try to get that track position during the pit stops, or before, I should say, the pit stop cycle.
Yeah, it looks like the inside line starting to break up just a little bit, and I think it's just everyone's trying to anticipate when they're going to hear the call-outs of, this car pitting in, this car pitting in. And if you're on the outside line and you're trying to pit, you really got to figure out if you're even going to have the chance to, or you might just have to run high, run one extra lap around the track. But if you're going to, be out of the gas, that's where we had the trouble a couple of days ago in the truck series, where we had people on the outside line trying to come in too, and they were good up until they saw a car in front of them.
Yeah, exactly right. And that's exactly all was the best plans, I'd say. It doesn't always work out. So one thing we do have to mention, though, is they're about to come up on some traffic here, because we had a couple cars hit pit road. Ron Blackwell and Ivan Deshaw, they just rolled out of pit road, pitting at lap 24, so they had to short pit a little bit here. So they're about to get a huge group of drivers here. The one thing they do have in their favor, they are 2x2 at the moment, so they should be able to run the third lane, just run up by the wall, and be able to keep that momentum built up and hold on to the draft, because again, it's always a little sketchy if you have to drop to the apron when these guys are running 3x3. So hopefully they'll be able to do exactly that. But I'm looking a little further back again. Like I talked about earlier, Chris, that third lane, or the group in the back starting to form and start to make that big charge forward, being led by the 78 of Donald Stewart. He's got the 45 of Todd Siebel's. Dean Wilkinson's there. They did their fuel saving, they did their riding. Now they're charging to the front before pit stops kick off.
Yeah, you see him go all the way down to the bottom line just to get around. So I think they're just trying to set up their pitting positions right now. You don't want to be too far behind when you do the cycle if you have your teammates. So we talked about it earlier this week, where you might take no tires or all tires or even just left side. So that's something else that these guys kind of got to get on board. And I don't think you need to take tires at this early of the race. We might have to figure out if the wear and tear of the tires is going to be bad. But typically with these cars, it's not too terrible, as we see. I think one car is going, and I think that's Jay Hilliard going in right now. Oh, we have a car spinning at pit.
Oh, yeah, the 59 is in. Yeah, Shooter McGavin, unfortunately, contacted the entry on the pit wall. But however, I mean, he's going to lose time and may lose the draft. However, though, again, should have fast repair available for use. But I was saying, importantly, also standard green, but also, yeah, just the one car involved, so nobody else getting caught up in it. But yeah, you're right, though, Chris. I'll say it's going to be, yeah, it's all going to be about strategy, because we're coming to 30 now, and this is about when I expect to see a good chunk of drivers hit pit road. But like I said, here comes that second pack there, the 55 of Dean Wilkinson leading that charge on the third lane. And this is exactly, I'd be doing the exact same thing as these guys up top. That's the Bad Company group there, the 55, the 6, and the 9. And here come a few drivers coming in together. Looks like the IROC cars, Limitless, they're, one way too hot on entry. The 33 just completely overshot. He slides to a stop. And so unfortunately, that's going to probably be an unsafe entry for him. But we do have Cody Nagels, Vicente Guerrero teammates, Robert DuPont in there, Robert Jordan, Bob Fitzgerald, all hitting pit road here. So again, I like a smaller group. Actually, as I say, that caution is out. Something happened. A little for about 617 of Doug Lemon and Tom Dixon around. Actually, teammates there both going around, unfortunately. And this is perfect for these guys right here, because Chris, they've made their pit stop. They're not going to get a lap down. They are going to cycle to the front of the field. So let's go back, though, and try to find out what happened here to Tom Dixon and company, because, yeah, it was unfortunately during our pit stop cycle. So let's go back and take a look here. I actually see one down on the apron already, and that's definitely not what you want to see. Let's see if we can get a better angle before we kick the replay on. Oh, yeah, look at Dean Wilkinson there, Chris, the 55 down on the apron. Let's pick it up here. And yeah, the 1655, they make, I think, a little bit of contact. And I think it's just going to be that accordion effect that we talked about that winds up getting into the back. And yeah, 617 tried to avoid it. And then the 411 was trying to get off of his teammate, and just unfortunately contact between the two of them. And that's a tough one. You never want to make contact with your teammate. Again, nothing intentional. That was just bad luck. But I say we've unfortunately had our fair share of contact with one another, and they kind of just get hooked on each other there. So yeah, so caution during pit stop cycle, Chris. So like I said, I think right now net winners are those drivers that just pitted there. Cody Nagels, Vicente Guerrero, Jay Hilliard actually also going to take advantage of this as well, as we're going to see the whole field here in just a moment hit pit road. However, those guys that pitted there, they got to hustle around here, because they're just crossing the start finish line now. Leaders are coming into turn number 4 here. They may not be able to complete the lap around the track here without even catching the leader. So we'll see. This will be interesting to see who cycles out where, just based on kind of their distance to the leaders.
I don't want to say the commentator's jinx, but I do feel like anytime we do have green flag pit stops, it's so much going on that I think that the drivers just kind of forget to focus on the one main priority of what's in front of them and what's going on, and that's just a testament to how high strung this race is, where you're trying to figure out if you can pit. That's the question, if you can even pit. The next question of where are you going to be going when you try to get off the track. You're hearing everybody make a call out. The guy in front of you is not making that call out that he's going to go to the pit, so you have to figure out how much you have to slow down. And we just see it right there that we just have a caution, just kind of a little bit of miscommunication, just not people checking up fast enough, and that just tends to happen all the time at Talladega.
You saw right there, kind of in the foreground, we saw the 06, the 14, I believe possibly the 07 swing on by But I have a feeling Gabe's going to not lose all the spots that he might there just at the timing of when that pit exit happens. So I do believe Cody Nagels will net through as our race leader, along with Vicente Guerrero, Robert Dupont, our top three. As then you have Jay Hilliard in fourth. But yeah, right here, look at that. You see Gabe rolling by Jay Hilliard. We'll see if he rolls by anybody else right now, because it looks like he's trying to find where he needs to position that car. I say, unfortunately, just like I said, a couple drivers just, they weren't quite caught back up, didn't quite hustle around the field there. And so that 2.66 mile track, I say, kind of is going to come back to haunt him a little bit. And actually, it's showing right now, Gabe's actually
he's
looks
going
like
second,
cycling back to the front right now, because that 27 car looks like they want to stay out and get a wave around. And I think that's the right call, actually, for Ron Blackwell, because he last pitted on lap number 24. So he's only 6 laps kind of off pace with these leaders, but I think he has to, because right now he's 2 down. And I think without getting that one of the 2 back, I think that kind of just puts his race out of the running, because there's already a few drivers just 1 down. So I like this call by the 27 to stay out here, get that wave around. But yeah, surprising though to me is, let's say, we got to see where Cody and Vicente, actually, they're having to let a lot of cars by. So I don't know here. They might actually wind up, say, what I thought was going to be a big bonus for them. It looks like actually might kind of shoot them in the foot here. I know iRacing sometimes isn't very friendly with kind of cautions during the pit stop cycle. So I think maybe a little bit of that iRacing bad luck. And you can see I think, yeah, they're having to come to a stop, let all these guys on by. So kind of getting a little bit of a traffic jam as these guys are almost running into each other here. So these guys gotta be careful. We're about to see some incidental contact under yellow, because everybody's just trying to get in the right positions here. So we'll focus back up front, because yeah, there's definitely a lot of confusion going on towards the back there.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely land a big plane on the apron of this track. But it seems like people are still almost running into each other right there on the pit lane entry. So don't know what was going on. I'm sure there's a lot of communication, and people are just trying to figure out where they're going. And obviously the simulation of iRacing definitely tells you what to do. And when worst comes to worst, when in doubt, just follow what iRacing's telling you to do. And unless told otherwise, that I think there's admins in this series that they can kind of change things if need be. If someone needs like an EOL, or someone needs like a wave through, possibly there's things to combat some of the confusion in iRacing. So these guys look like they figured it out on pit road, but look at that Gabe just being able to pit and get ahead of everybody, since they weren't being able to go fast enough. It's pretty amazing that you can have the caution work out in your favor, even when it wasn't necessarily pulling that way at first.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. I mean, I thought they were in the catbird seat, but obviously just something with the way that the caution fell there didn't wind up panning out for them. They went ahead and just actually jumped in the pits there and say, you know what, we're not going to be up front. Let's just go back onto pit road. And the other driver we got to mention, the 96 Shooter McGavin, say he had that miscue on his pit entry. That caution brings him right back into the mix here, and actually he's going to restart right around the top 10 in that 96 car. So say a little bit of bad luck, going to be good luck now for him. So he's going to be in a good position here. And say from here though, Chris, we are at 33 of 78, going to be 34 of 78 at the line. Should be a one-stop race to the finish from here. So, and probably not a big range of fuel mileage where they can go. Say, I think again we'll probably see these guys pit around lap 50, probably 58, 59 most likely for that final stop. So it doesn't give a huge range of window for these guys. So probably see everybody just about run this thing out here. But we do have a lot of teammates up front here. The 1, the 25, the 8, the 18. The 071 was right there, the 5. So I'm going to see, do they try to do a little bit of an early jump here in this restart to try to get themselves all organized? And it looks like so far they're going to wait, not jumping early. So I think they're going to just try to stay bunched up right now.
Yeah, it's kind of been almost a one-team show, with with them sitting on the inside line, but I don't think it'll stay calm for long. Quotations calm. It has been a little bit of a hectic race, but I don't think it'll stay calm for long. These guys definitely want to see them, dominate the whole race and win from absolutely doing nothing. So these guys might try a little bit something different from the back. They just got to gather up the energy and momentum. So I'm excited for the second half of this race.
And that's exactly it. As I say, we're getting close to the halfway point here in another 5 laps or so. I say one thing that Dude Conrad's got to have to be careful about is he's got two TW Motorsports teammates right behind him, Randy Miner and Jay Hilliard. We saw earlier with Gabe Butler, Kevin Fries, and Zach Workman. They kind of jumped to the third lane and just swung right on by a bunch of them. But so far, they're playing nice. They're just going to stay lined up in that second row. And then you see a little bit further back there, the 19 of Kevin LaChance. He's starting to make his name known as well. He's just been cruising. I think now he's ready to make some moves here. I'm seeing a little bit of connectivity issues for a few drivers. The 07 Robert DuPont, even Gabe Butler's had a couple of blinks as well. And that makes it very tough for drivers like Robert Jordan because, say, we're watching him, you can see just the blinking going on. I think I saw the 07 actually drop to the apron here. I think he's going to try to roll onto the back here. So, again, talk about the sportsmanship, the camaraderie. He doesn't want to lose track position, but he knows he's got something going on, so he's going to roll a little further back there in the 07. I'll say, that being said, though, these guys have to be so careful because they just don't know where he is right now. And so he hasn't got all the way back, but you're going to see right around the 82 here. So there's a little bit of wildness going on with the 07. I actually haven't seen him come back on track yet. I think he's still working. There he is. Yeah, he's still working his way back. I say now he's just got to about where he can be in a little bit of a safer place. So that's a tough break for Robert. He's been in great track position all night long, but like I said, he's just got to wait for that to settle in to be able to jump back towards the front there. We got a
car blew up his engine.
Oh yeah, the 101.
I think it's a TW Motorsports car.
Yeah, Randy Miner. Like you see everybody. I saw everybody making quick reactions. Oh my goodness! A couple more quick reactions, and I think. I think Jimmy Crow Jr. had something happen, but it looks like he made it to the pits. So let's go back first. Let's see what happened here to Randy Miner, where this all kicked off at. Oh, that's a heartbreaker for Randy here. Let's actually back it down so you can see, yeah, that car already has popped. So let's go back a little further here. You'll see that puff of smoke. And let's take a look here.
Yeah, I just think it's an engine pop from sitting so close. That's the only explanation I had. But good job for you'll see here in a second. Someone made a ridiculous save coming off the corner.
And actually a little bit of connection issue there as well at the time. And yep, there's the smoke there. And luckily for Jay Hilliard, doesn't make contact with him. But then something else happens with Jimmy Crow Jr. You see the 16 car here will pick up the speed because he has an incident later on in this. You can see a lot of these guys go into the apron. They know something's happening. And so everybody's kind of reacting. And actually, yeah, he just kind of pulls off track here and comes to a stop there and has to take a tow. So odd situation there. We'll jump back live. So apologies, went back and looked at a whole bunch of stuff there. But we jump back live here. And so as a whole, everybody's pretty much held on right now. It's going to be a little tight, though, Chris. Right around Guy Bracco in 19th position. He's got about 7/10 set. He's actually catching Charles Johnson now, so I think he's going to be okay, and I think he's going to lead that group a little further back of the 78, the 08, the 07, and then, again, even a little further back, Vicente Guerrero, Cody Nagels. They're having to try to charge themselves forward as well, even Dean Wilkinson, so it looks like everybody's going to find themselves back in the mix here. We're going to get back to the 25-car draft pack, but that's the concern about being towards the middle of the back of the field. If something happens and no yellow comes out, that's where the danger comes into play. But really great heads up. We saw really close calls there by a couple drivers almost getting to the back of that 101, but yeah, unfortunately, heartbreaker there for Randy Miner.
Yeah, not sure what exactly happened, but definitely looked like he was just kind of a little too close, and we saw the engine pop. But definitely a great job for being respectful and letting everybody know, getting on the horn, like, hey, I'm up top, and everything like that. So I commend these guys week in and week out, and just the level of respect that they give each other, and just giving a notice to everyone on track, even though you're trying to beat everybody and trying to be a competitor, giving them a notice, so you're not ruining everyone else's races, is a very commendable thing, and you don't see that too often, and you really have to praise it when you do see it.
Yeah, and actually do need, I spoke too soon though, Chris, because we've got Todd Siebels. We got a 16-car pack, but then unfortunately from Bud Steele on back, though, they're about almost 2.5 seconds back now, so they're going to have to work together right now and close that gap back. And right now it's actually Vicente Guerrero, Cody Nagels. They're working hard together here to try to charge back up as we just crossed the halfway point this last time around. So say now this is again decision time. What's the fastest way to run these cars? Is it 2x2? Is it single file? I've heard both ways. People think one's better than the other. So now it's going to be, I'm going to watch the interval between right now. Currently Vicente Guerrero to Robert Rock, I'm sorry. And it's starting to trend the right way. It's down to about 2.3 seconds there. Oh, that one just catch the wall there out of turn number 4. Can't catch the car. Oh, that was a 69 car, I'm sorry, of Guy Bracco. He's able to hang on to it here. Still watching the interval, though. It's still about 2.3, 2.4 seconds from this 171 to this second pack right here, who are fighting very hard with each other.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit of a handling issue, it seems like. But if these guys, my philosophy's always been, if you get more than 5 cars in the line, after that it starts slowing down the whole momentum. So if you can get 2 cars, or we have a group of what seems like 9 or 8 of these guys right now. This is the perfect amount for them to go 2x2 and try to catch back up. You'll be as fast as you can while the rest of these guys are battling. As you see at the front pack, they're kind of 3 wide. There's still a little bit of fighting. No one's directly up on each other if they're not in the lead. So they'll catch back up in a couple laps time, and I think that this is probably best for them. If a wreck happens in front of them, they have plenty of time to avoid it.
Yeah, and that's actually up front. It's actually kind of single filed out, and it's a boot knocker party right now, Chris. You've got 1st through 6th, all part of the boot knocker team, A, B, 1, 2, whatever you want to have it at. So I'm trying to see who might be. I think they have 7 drivers total. So I'm trying to see which driver's the odd man out as they run. It's like you see on the ticker, the 6 on the left though. They are all part of that group. And say I'm trying to say, oh, Jimmy Crow Jr. That's the one we're missing. I say we saw him step out. I believe actually, unfortunately, retired as well, along with the 33 of David Bond. So unfortunately, that's night over for those 2. However, it looks like everybody else still on track. And mentioned the gap, Chris, it's shrinking down to 1.5, 1.4 seconds now between Bud Steele and Robert Rock. And I think actually Robert Rock, I think he's trying to kind of play the middle game here, just dropping back off of these leaders here to try to pull his teammates there back up to them. So Robert's doing a really good job of staying, like I say, kind of dropping back just enough to kind of get him to sniff that draft off of him, but also not risking losing the draft himself. So really good teamwork. Again, we talked about just the selflessness of these guys. This is another one of the bad company drivers there, helping his teammate in that 6 car, Bud Steele, who's also part of that same team. So right now, the boot knockers who are left in this race, they are pretty much they've stacked the top 6 spots. So right now, they want this thing to stay exactly like it is, because they are loving what they're seeing right now. That's kind of the best case scenario for an organization, is to lock out the front 6 spots.
Yeah, you gotta think if you have one guy that's kind of winning all the races, are they the type of team to give someone that is worthy of the win, try to get them to get the win, or they kind of go all out, or they kind of just play everything by ear, and whoever's in front, they might just go ahead and just push them. So it's nice to be in a situation like that when you're in a team that big and that powerful, to be up front, to where you have so many options of kind of how to win or who you want to win. And it's very rare for you to be in that situation. So these guys, for them to be holding the top 6 spots, it's almost a paradise for them, and it's up to them to really make that a disaster.
Yeah, I think right now, I think it's going to change here, because I think now that they've got the whole field together, do need to mention, of course, that those drivers did catch back up to the pack. So we've got that full pack of 24 drivers right now in this lead pack. But yeah, I was watching for a little bit there. Unfortunately, it looks like it's just changed. But I was about to mention David Overstreet in that number 68 country time car. Love the paint scheme. It's one of those blasts from the past that I always love to see from time to time. But he's got some pretty significant rear end damage and a little bit of a left front hood crinkle as well. So probably wasn't the car to lead. And I think that's what he recognized as he's dropped to the back here. But that second lane, it's about to happen, and it's already on its way. And I believe it is being led by the 62 here of Les Levy. He's going to work that the second lane there. He's getting big pushes from the 4 of Paul Turner. And again, got to mention, though, it doesn't matter if you're lead lap car. You can play an outcome in this race. And right now, Paul Turner, he is being that 62's best friend as they trying to push him forward. And of course, it's also in Paul's best interest here, because that 82 car just a little bit in front of him, Dan Harrington, that's the lucky dog battle. So if that 4 can get around the 82, that puts him in that lucky dog position. So it's definitely also a little bit of extra incentive as a little bit of contact one going down on the apron there. Couldn't quite catch the car number. Oh, there he is. Oh, that's the 90, or sorry, the 69. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, the 96 there. So of course I lost the car. I got to jump back and find him.
Yeah, it looked like he just got pushed out a little bit, which tends to happen when we have this big of a gap, a 2 or 3 car gap right when you're doing the drafting help. So you'll see that the accordion effect happens very, very fast, and it's almost you really can't stop it once it starts happening. So it looks like he just got pushed out a little bit. Nothing too damaging. He got back on the apron, and he'll sit in the back now. I think he'll lose the draft, but his car's still running. He's still in the race.
Yeah, it was a hell of a save there by that 96 of Shooter McGavin. Say again, using the golfing skills, maybe some quick hands, if you will. But yeah, unfortunately though, like I said, lost the draft though, so he's gonna have to fall back probably another 5 seconds to the next pack, which is with Guy Bracco leading a 3-car pack. So tough break for him there. But again, all not lost because we still got 32 to go, 31 at the line, Chris. So I said we also talked about the fuel window, probably about 6-7 more laps until we see pit stops. What I do see is teammates here, Cody Nagels, Vicente Guerrero. They said, you know what? We've been just riding. Let's get to that third lane. Let's try to get to the front. These guys aren't ones known to just sit and ride. They definitely are ones that like to be up front in control as well. The problem is, again, they've got 2 of each other. They've got to compete against a 6-car line on the inside line teammates. So, but right now they definitely are. So almost again, maybe have to start looking for some teams. The inner team competitors may kind of turn them into inner team teammates.
Yeah, they definitely need that 3rd car to be on that 3rd line for them to do anything. But they're holding strong on the outside, and that's just a testament to their teamwork as 2, basically a 2-car team. And there's a little bit of blocking going on in that middle lane, but I think everyone's just trying to get a little bit of air. We've already saw 1 car pop their engine. We don't need anyone else to do the same. So you'll see a little bit of snaking as you see a little bit right now as they go into turn 1. So hopefully everyone kind of gets together, and I think they just got their 3rd car right now.
Yeah, so they'll be very happy to have Kevin LaChance join the party in that number 19 machine. Exactly right, Chris. So that's just going to help that line surge just that little bit extra as well. So, and yes, and I think also, so I'm going to kind of call him out. Say probably missing BK Anderson, another one of the Limitless team drivers. Not sure where BK is tonight, but I have a feeling they're probably missing him right now. But they've actually got up to the line of that 2nd lane led by Les Levy here. So I think their goal here, again, I don't think that the 14 wants to ditch the 06. I think if they can clear both of them, that's going to be the end goal, is to try to clear both cars in front of the 62, and then they drop down. So unfortunately, Kevin LaChance may be the one left holding the bill if that comes to fruition here, as that 2nd line is starting to kind of just fizzle out a little bit here, Chris. I think everybody's starting to drop to that inside line, getting ready for pit stop. So yeah, Les Levy, he's got no help anymore, so don't expect to see momentum kind of go in his favor. But as soon as I say that, there goes Kevin LaChance. Oh, actually, no, he's going to go straight to the inside.
All the way to the bottom.
And, you saw it there. Les Levy, he tried to drop low, couldn't do it. And unfortunately, though, yeah, the 14 was not able to clear this 06 as well, so the 06 is going to try to maybe squeeze in. Nope, he cannot. So, fortunately, Cody Nagel is going to take the elevator towards the back right here.
Yeah, definitely. So I think these guys will come in about another 2 to 3 laps. We'll see. It looks like they're already setting up. I'll probably check the radios to see when they start making the call outs, but you can kind of tell, hopefully, with the first set of 3 cars, usually they kind of dip below the yellow line to give everyone a little bit of a warning. So I think they're coming in the next 2 or 3 laps, and it seems like the front pack, with the top 6 cars being that team boot knocker, I think is what you told me. These guys, they're pretty consistent with holding the lead and not really letting anybody take advantage of them.
Yeah, and I think that's the strategy here for the boot knockers as well. I think it's going to be in their best interest to kind of hold their card close to their vest, if you will. I think they're going to probably either try to not call their pit stop or call it as late as possible. Because they're going to want to pit together. Again, if they can nail their pit stop, if they get all 6 cars in and out together, well organized, that's the goal. You want to try to see if you can have a great in and out and maybe try to just stretch it away from the field a little bit. But the question is, Chris, though, is it's fuel strategy. Do you want to basically plan your pit stop to go to lap 78? or do you want to plan your pit stop to go just that little extra in case of a green, white, checkered? So a lot of times some drivers say, you know what, we're going to roll the dice. We're going to basically pit as soon as we're in our window, and if we have to splash at the end, so be it. Others say, you know what, we're going to take the hit early and just do that. So again, these guys all pitted around 31 to 32. We're on 52 right now, so they can go about 5 more laps on fuel roughly. But like you said, Chris, though, the official window, I say, opens not this time by, but I believe next time by with 25 to go will be the earliest we see drivers in. So that'll be the question mark. Do we see them pit early, or do we see these guys build that little bit of a fuel margin in case of those late yellows?
You know, I'm the type of person that always assumes that there's going to be a green, white, checker, especially with, being on this channel of green, white, checker TV. So I would, go one lap further and just try to overshoot everybody and have enough fuel for the end. That way I'm not running out or trying to run out as we're going to green and save myself the pain of having to lose the race that way. So I would go one further. I don't know if anyone else is going to do that here. The guys on the outside might be forced to do that. But we have one car going in, and I think that's him. I think that's it.
That's a big surprise because that's JD Crow, who's one of the boot knockers here, and he's going to come in all alone. So I did not see this. If you told me that JD would be coming in by himself, I almost wonder if there's some miscommunication there because, yeah, this is not something you expect to see there. And again, JD pitted with all those guys, so yeah, a little surprised about this. I'm saying actually more than a little, to be honest with you. So yeah, interesting to see. Like I said, maybe miscommunication. We'll see. Maybe if we get a chance for opportunity for interviews, we can maybe ask about that pit stop there at 25 to go. And saying it's one of those things where it's like, are we going to pit on 3, or is it we're going to do 1, 2, and then 3 kind of a thing? So we'll see. We'll see if the boot knockers react and they come in this time around. And looks like they're staying out once more.
That's
so
definitely gonna hurt JD.
Oh yeah, this is a tough one because JD, I say he's already off pit road, but he's all alone. If he can luck out, maybe could tag onto these 2 cars in front of him, but I don't think he's gonna have the momentum built up, unfortunately. So this is risky for JD. May lose the draft there in that 5 car. So. But right now, Chris, I think it's like you said, kind of like your strategy was. These guys are planning on trying to basically build that little bit of margin in case of a green, white, checkered. The one thing I was about to mention before that pit stop by JD, though, was the one bonus you have of pitting early is you can put a little bit less fuel and shorten your pit stop a little bit. So that would be the other incentive of maybe pitting just that little bit earlier. But I think it's all about if you have to plug in that second can or not. At that point, the stops are going to be just that little bit longer. But here we go. We got a good chunk of drivers hitting pit road here. Now it's going to be all about that stagger. And, a little bit of contact with the 07 of Robert DuPont. I think got into the back of the 19, if I'm not mistaken. So a little bit of damage there. You can see definitely some damage to the 07's nose. So we'll have to keep an eye and see how that goes. But up front, they look pretty well organized. And those drivers going a little further, though, were those ones running that outside line, that second lane, Vicente Guerrero, Les Levy. They said, yeah, let's keep pushing here. So also talking about teammates splitting up there. So you can see Vicente's there, but his teammate Cody Nagels is not in that pack. So they actually split up with each other as well.
Yeah, definitely good job on these guys coming in. We're about to see the second pack. I'm assuming is going to be coming in after the clearing here. So we'll see them. They're definitely pulling off, and hopefully no wild breaks. There's less cars here in this group, so still a little bit of a... Oh, they all got in. I was a little bit scared there looking at the outside line. I thought they were going to overshoot it, but looks like they got in a little bit better than the first group. So I think they might get out in front of them. Oh, just as I say that, they got...
contact
no.
Tom Dixon, Dean Wilkinson. Yeah, I say now Dean's gonna, I said they're both going to try to get lined up. And that's the thing is it's not all... Once you get to into the pits, it's not over. Sometimes you have to make sure you nail the pit stall. So that's a tough break for the 411 and the 55. So we're going to jump back up front because it looks like actually right now the net leaders through the pit stop cycle, Todd Siebels, Donald Stewart, great in and out for them. They won't clear the field. However, they will currently lead this race, so that's a great pit stop for these TW Motorsports teammates here as they start to cycle around that second pack that had just pitted.
Yeah, they definitely got together. I can't believe... I feel like I just cursed them while they were in the pits. I feel so bad, but that's the thing with the simulation is if you're in the pit stalls, you're indestructible. You know, you really are kind of a ghost, but being on the outside line and coming in, I think there's still a little bit of a physical contact that you can have, and that just happened over there. So unfortunately that happened for those two, but I think if one car was actually in his pit box, it would have just ghosted him out.
Yeah, exactly right. You're right. Yeah, these cars kind of become ghosts when they're in the pit stalls. But then, yeah, if you're outside the pit stalls, you kind of have that contact box, if you will. So, and it was looking good for the TW group for just a little bit. But again, the boot knockers, they've got lined up. They've got the three of them clear. And now a little bit of a jump there. Wasn't expecting that. So you can see the 18, he went low. The 25 stays high. The 1 stays high. And they're about to catch some traffic here. So this is going to, again, kind of make things a little awkward. They have to hope that the lap cars go to the top here as they still sit too wide. But right now we got one on the bottom. Oh, there he goes. He gets to the top. Great job by the lappers there. You know that makes the leaders nervous occasionally. But quick reaction. So definitely, again, hats off. The respect these guys are giving one another. And yeah, so right now, say we've got boot knockers on the outside line and then one on the inside line. But right now that 18, he's kind of lonely. He's hoping for some more help, but right now everybody likes that the middle top side.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to get the push and trying to dominate the outside line just so they can go back to the inside. So it looks like they got a 2-car lead on the outside line, and they can honestly drop if they really wanted to and then get the next guy up in front. But that inside line, just as I said that, they got the push and now they got the energy. So now it's a dead even heat.
And so the other thing we got to mention is right now we got 9 lead lap drivers in this main pack. And then about a second back is Vicente Guerrero, Les Levy again. They pitted 1 lap later, so that unfortunately kind of lost them a little bit of track position, but they should be able to catch back up. I think the timing, the ticker and everything is looking good for them as they're working around that 69 car there. And then same thing goes a little further back here. You got the 68 David Overstreet and then Charles Johnson leading that third pack, if you will. But then unfortunately, we talked about JD Crow pitting by himself early. He sits in 18th, about 6 seconds off those group in front of him. So right now he needs a yellow. Same for Bob Fitzgerald, Robert DuPont, Doug Lemon. They're in that same position. Then we saw the contact, Dean Wilkinson, as he is way off the pack, as is Tom Dixon. And then you get back to the first car, 1 down, the 44 of Anthony English, who right now is pushing our race leader, that 18 of Zach Workman.
All right, fans, have a question for you guys. Who are you picking to win this race? We got about 19 laps to go. I need to see it in the comments.
Yeah, say for people who've been watching earlier, we're gonna call you out too. So obviously, my brother Quabi, what's your pick? Kevin, if you're still here, who you got? Bradley, who you guys got? Anybody else watching? I see there's at least 14 of you. As there's a 44 actually, he hits pit road there, and that is a scheduled stop. He was kind of off cycle, so unfortunately didn't get the caution he was hoping for. So that right now is going to kind of move that momentum once again to that second lane, and there goes the one, and actually the 25 once again stays top here, so that's going to split Gabe and Kevin here. And here we go, new dad Peter DeBorgia, he's chiming in. I say his bet is going to be the 18, the 88, or the 25, and so he's got kind of the boot knockers locked out. And saying Quabi Brooks, he's going for a different boot knocker. That's going to be Eric Laurie. And Seth Groover, Seth, I miss you, man. Hopefully you and your brother are doing well, but love to see you here as well. So we got a Cody Nagels vote as well. So we've got a pretty good mix. We got some boot knockers. We got a limitless driver. And yeah, Kevin's going for the son there, the 06 of Cody Nagels. So got 2 Cody Nagels votes. We got a couple of boot knockers, and then we got Todd Siebel's vote as well in the 45 car, who is right there in the thick of it. He's actually pushing Kevin Freeze now in that third lane. So that inside line kind of gave up the ghost while we were talking to these guys. Look at Cody, the big move to the inside line. Look at Gabe, he covers it. These guys are starting to play a little bit of defense as we're at 17 to go.
It was definitely popping off while we were doing that call out. Thank you for the fans for participating. It was fun doing that. But watching the last 2 laps, that was kind of crazy. I just seen I think that was the 60 car go all the way from the back to the front, or the 06. That's what it is. Yeah, I just seen him go all the way from the back to the front, all the way from the top in the third row all the way down to the bottom, and now he's fighting for the lead. This is crazy.
Cody heard people are voting on him to win this race. He's like, well, I better do my part then, as he hops in front of that 8 there of Dude Conrad. And that's the thing, he had to do that because the boot knockers had all 3 rows lined up, Chris. He had the 8, the 1, and the 25. So he broke up kind of the grip, if you will, of that group. So the problem now is look at the 18. Yeah, I was going to say Zach Workman. He's able to control the middle lane now. He's going to jump in front of that
it's a
the
late
06.
block.
These guys are making big moves. They're getting aggressive. So the question, though, Chris, we still got 16 to go, about 15 to go at the line. This is all but done, and saying there's going to be some more big moves up front here. But all these jumping around, though, it's actually let that third lane start to make a big charge.
Yeah, well, I mean, with 16 to go, you do feel like the pressure's getting on, but I mean, it's still a long way to the end of the race, and we know that there's always been last lap passes in this race a lot of times. So these guys might be, trying to position themselves for a better chance of, lap last passes. Try saying that 5 times fast. We see teammates kind of breaking up. We see a little bit of late blocks going on, and we have a lap down car coming up to these guys. So hopefully they get down to the apron, or else they got to figure out how to make a 4th line here at Talladega.
Oh, man, I am loving what I'm seeing out of Cody and Gabe. They are working hard. Yeah, there they go. They're dropping to the apron.
A little bit of push. Oh, there's a wreck.
Oh, Cody Nagels around, as is Eric Laurie. Caution is out. And unfortunately, it's going to involve the 18, the 9. We saw the 06 already in that one. And that's going to bring out that was my concern, was would we be able to withstand all of that action? And unfortunately, the answer is no. Oh, the 69 takes a little shot there at the very end as well of Guy Bracco. And so that's going to put us under yellow here, Chris. So fuel mileage probably out the window. These guys are going to go back to fuel save here as Gabe Butler takes the caution there at the line. So let's go back, though. See, 44... Big moment for the 44. He actually slides right in front of Gabe. I'm sure Gabe had a moment there seeing that happening as well. Let's go back, though, and take a look, because these guys, like you said, Chris, they were making some big and aggressive moves. And I don't think there's anything rough or anything intentional. I think it was just, unfortunately, possibly a push gone wrong. So we're going to initially focus on the 06 here of Cody Nagels. And we'll watch the 06 again. He's leading that main pack here in that middle lane. And yeah, look right there. You see how out of shape Dude Conrad was? I think maybe got a bad push from that car behind him, Zach Workman. That got him into Eric Laurie. That gets Eric Laurie into Cody. And then, oh man, look at Todd Siebels here. Take a shot to the corner there, and he drifts this thing off the banking there. Somehow keeps that car pointed straight. So he's got a little bit of rear end damage, a little bit of left rear damage, but that is a car-saving save out of that 45. Hats off to Todd Siebels there. And that puts us under yellow, though, Chris. And we're going to go up back to the leaders here and see if we have any pit stops. And yeah, we got someone damaged, so Kevin Freeze looks like he's going to hop on in along with Todd. Actually, yeah, Todd's got a little bit of nose damage, so he's going to drop in as well. So this is going to shake up our running order a fair bit here, with 14 to go at the line. So we're going to have just outside of 10 to go of the restart here, as we got kind of a mixed bag of staying out and pitting. So once again, Chris, let's step away for a second under this caution. We'll be back here with 1 to go, so stay tuned. right, we are back. 1 to go. Lights are off of the pace car, so we're going to restart this thing with 11 to go, Chris. And pretty much the whole top running order has completely shaken up with that incident. Gabe Butler still leads, but I mean, you look around him, you got Les Levy now up to second. Bud Steele there. David Overstreet, we talked about him earlier. Definitely you can see use a fast car because that car's looking nice and clean. You got Robert Rock as well, so I see at least 2 drivers of teammates here. They got the Bad Company guys in 3rd and 5th. And then you got JD Crow. We talked about JD. He had lost the draft, Chris, and that caution, him not being involved, brings him right back into it. Same thing with the 07, the 617, the 411. A lot of those drivers had lost the pack. It was kind of that blessing in disguise. Got able to not be involved in the wreck, didn't have to pit, and they're going to be right in the thick of it here. I mean, we saw some big moves. So I guess what we'll do is, as Quabi kind of mentioned, there go all the predicted winners. So I don't know if anybody wants to maybe make a quick adjustment to their picks for tonight. So I know there's going to be still a lot of committed drivers to the ones they picked initially. And obviously, like you said, Peter, say, Gabe, it's hard not to pick that one car. And yeah, he's still pointing up front. So yeah, it's going to be fun to see. So we did have there pretty much from roughly about Todd Siebel's on back, hit pit road in the 45. Probably a lot of fast repairs being taken there. Again, these guys have 2 fast repairs now. That's also a big thing to mention, Chris. So they still have one. If they hadn't burned one yet, they have one now in the bank. And I'm also watching a lot of drivers rolling the apron like the 1 and the 6 are, just saving a little bit of extra fuel in case they need it. Again, we talked about green, white checkers. This just gives them a little bit of breathing room. So it's going to be fun to see what they got here, because again, all the kind of the teamwork and all the team organization has been really broken up here. So I think it's going to be one of those, let's figure out who you can work with, who you trust, and it'll take a few laps to get some organizations lined up here, I have a feeling.
Yeah, definitely good to have 2 different repairs on your cars. But as we go green here, that inside line is going real well. We got Gabe Butler out in front. I don't know how many cars Boot Knocker has this time now, but it seems like they're still going to have a Boot Knocker brigade or a blockade, so to speak.
Yeah, but right now, most of those Boot Knockers are in about 10th on back with Kevin Freeze, Dude Conrad, Zach Workman's back there, Eric Laurie. So yeah, right now Gabe, his best chance is that 5 of JD Crow. Is that JD actually he's going to jump to the top here, but I think he's about to get. Oh nope. There's a lot of mixed strategies. Kevin Freeze, he wanted to jump up with JD, and the 45 Todd Siebel said, not so fast, I'm going to take that spot. And Kevin reluctantly says, okay, you know what, I am going to jump to that 3rd lane here. So right now, you got Les Levy leading the middle lane, JD Crow leading the 3rd lane. Like I said, everybody's starting to build up that speed, build up the momentum. Takes about a lap or so to kind of get these things fully wound up in the draft. And now these things will be running just about full song as everybody's starting to squeeze a little tighter, Chris. I'll say this is what happens towards the end. Pushes get harder, the drafting gets a little tighter, and things get a lot more wild here as we got 10 to go.
Yeah, definitely. If you're going to make a move, you got to commit to it. You can't really, step haphazardly. If you're going to be on the outside and you're going to squeeze down, you got to expect someone to come up and kind of hit you. So you're at your own risk here. You got to trust who's around you and make sure that you can race the best that you can. So we see that 3rd lane. Oh my gosh, that 5's got a push from hell, and now he's dropped all the way to the bottom. He's going to have that energy to push him all the way back to the front still. Oh man, what a race!
I don't think you could have slipped a piece of paper between JD Crow and Les Levy there. I thought that was the big one in front of the entire field, but somehow he cleared. Oh, but man, that Pepsi car, I believe that's the 617 and Doug Lemon. That thing is definitely getting a little squirrely there mid-pack there, about 3rd on back in the middle lane. So that now leaves, Gabe found his Boot Knocker. That's the 5 of JD Crow. So he's got at least 1 teammate now with him there. So, but looking at the 2nd lane, as there goes Gabe, he's actually going to jump to the middle here. He's going to go try to get around his teammate there. So these guys aren't just going to sit lockstep. They both are going to try to get these big shoves and try to control this race.
Yeah, now that everyone's kind of pushing for all it's got, for all she's got. The gap here, what we saw last time happened in the last wreck was there's so much of a gap from the car to the front that the accordion effect happens. So we see guys getting already loose and they're going below the apron now, just getting out of control right here. So it's going to be a little bit crazy coming to the line. We might have four lines coming. Looks like about 3 or 4 rows back. So it's crazy. I don't think we're going to have the same leader each lap now. So I don't know who's going to win this.
This might be a who gets through this potentially inevitable just field wreck here, because these guys, like I said, I mean, I've seen it, they've done it before, but I just don't know how they can kind of keep this momentum up, this aggression up throughout the rest of this 8 laps here, 7.5 now as they go down the backstretch. But it's going to be interesting. You see Gabe, he's kind of working in both lanes right now. Les Levy just hasn't had the surge he needs to get up alongside the 5 or the 1. And same similar for Todd Siebels here, but right now, again, there goes JD. He does the exact same move Gabe does, goes from the bottom to the middle. He's going to try to get that big push from that 62 car, and Bud Steele's going to lock right on the back of that one. And right now, and that's honestly, I mean, that's your best bet right now here, Chris. If you're second or third in line, you got to just shove that car in front as far forward as you can. That way you have a chance to maybe jump yourself to that middle or outside lane. And I think that's going to be in Bud's best interest to get himself up front. But man, right now, I don't know if I want to be in this main pack. Like I said, the few races I did at one point, I was kind of right where that 07 to 617, just kind of right in the middle of the pack. And again, just you're in rush hour traffic. You don't have anywhere to go, and it's just you're kind of going to the scene of the crash almost. It feels like at times, but right now it's really kind of between the 1 and the 5 here. The 45 Todd Siebels hasn't made the big charge yet. And oh, we got a little bit of contact. They somehow hang on.
They're still moving around. Woo!
Les Levy said, "You know what? I don't want to be in that." There it is in the back second half of the field. Caution is out the 70, or sorry, the 18 to 59, the 08. Oh, we got a few more that just rolled in there. Oh, a little bit of contact at the very end there, just to kind of add salt to the wound, if you will. That is I say it wasn't the very front of the field, but we did have, unfortunately, a big incident there. It's going to take out a few more drivers there. That 18 of Zach Workman, that car kind of just crab walking down the turn here, so that car definitely needs some help. Hopefully able to still save some fast repairs, and that's going to put us back under yellow here. So let's go back, Chris. Let's take another look at this one here, because it was right towards the mid section of the field here. And we'll see if we can get a look. And it actually looks, I'm going to go kind of focus
Just look at that picture right there.
I know. So I'm going to focus on this 06 of Cody Nagels, because look right here. They're right at the edge of 4 wide with the 19, the 06, the 59. And I think this is where the contact may have just about, actually, I think we probably got to back it up a little bit, because I think something happened to get Cody out of shape there. Let's go back once more, because, yeah, things got a little dicey there. And yeah, so you see the 18 and maybe a little bit of net code, or that car that actually may have just got out of shape there. Maybe, yeah, a little bit of contact, I think, right there between the 19 and the 06. As like I said, they were basically going 4 wide, and then unfortunately, oh, there's the contact with the 18 and the 19. They indeed were going 4 wide there. And then from there, it's just, again, there's not much you can do. And then everybody's just going to try to find any way around there. See the 4 car just sneak by. Look at that 78 car drive, just go straight down to the apron. I think Donald Stewart actually does get by it. Look at Eric Laurie as well. Great avoidance by him in the 071. But then unfortunately, some of these guys further back, not as lucky there. You see the 019 just about has it cleared. He catches the 19. And then, yeah, the 9, the 55. It all looks good for a second here, Chris. But just outside of view. So you got cars sliding and going everywhere. You can see the smoke as well. And this is what they see too. They can't see what's going around them. Charles just clears, but then there's the 55 Dean Wilkinson. Thought he had it, but then the last second a car pops up in front of him. So unfortunately, a number of cars involved in this one. That puts us back under yellow here. 4th yellow of the race here. And we're going to get a late restart here, sir. As right now we'll jump back up front as Gabe Butler is still our leader. And yeah, it looks like, again, pretty much everybody's going to stay out here other than those involved in that incident. So won't see a lot of change there. But you see Dean Wilkinson, he is in, and looks like fast repair on and away. The 74 Robert Jordan doing the same, trying to get himself out of there. And it looks like Jay Hilliard, lengthier pit stop for Jay here. So possibly maybe out of fast repairs in that number 59 machine. Shooter McGavin serviced and away as well. So right now, I believe we have, so I'm trying to get a rough number of the drivers on the lead lap. I think we're at, Zach Workman, that car, I think that car may be terminal here for that 18. I think he's just trying to get back to pit road, but he's having a tough tough go of it right now, unfortunately. And I believe actually Lucky Dog, if I'm not mistaken, is that car right there, Paul Turner. That was the caution he wanted because that puts him back onto the lead lap. So yeah, so Chris, I think we're gonna somehow, I think this is the second time we've had this recently. I think we're gonna be getting an informal green white checkered here because we will get the 1 to go with 3 to go, which means we will restart this thing with 2 to go. So it'll be a regulation green white checkered on Green White Checkered TV, just like we planned it.
Do we have the original 3 set up in this league?
Yes, sir. So we have 3 attempts if needed. So for some of those guys that did not top off, so right now I'm looking at when they pitted. Gabe Butler 53. 55. JD Crow, he pitted at 53, Chris. So again, he didn't really account for green white checkers as much in that number 5 machine. I think he wants this thing to finish under regulation. If we get to attempt number 2, attempt number 3, that car may be on fumes. Todd Siebels, he should be good to go. He pitted at 65. And so I'm saying Todd, I mean, again, he got through that. He's right back in the mix in that car. And again, look at teammates here. You got 2 boot knockers up front there, the 5 and the 1. I see also some more teammates there with the 6 car. Actually, where's his teammate there? Robert Rock there. He is 171. But yeah, so you see Todd Siebels, the 45. So again, there's going to be drivers that maybe not be formal teammates, but they race with each other. They know each other. They're going to try to break up these lead packs, and then we got to go a little further back. I'm not counting on these 2 IROC cars out, Cody Nagels and Vicente Guerrero. They're going to line up on the outside line here as well. That is golden for these guys because we talked about, Chris, on the inside line, you're kind of pinned down there usually. This is great news for Vicente and Cody lining up on the outside together. Watch for these 2 to make a move at some point here in these closing laps right now.
So I got a question for you, and I can also pass this one off to the fans too. How many, if any, green white checkers do you think we're going to have tonight for this race?
That's a good one. Yeah, will we finish under regulation or will we get into overtime 1, 2, or 3? So I'm not sure. I'm going to let the fans decide first. And then the other part to mention for me, Chris, is the way it works for those that maybe aren't familiar with it. I'm sure you all are, but just in case, again, basically, if we get a caution here, they'll reset it. They will extend the race up to 3 attempts. However, if you get to that 3rd and final attempt, at that point, if a yellow comes out before the white flag comes out, it will be an official race at the time of the caution. So, of course, if you get to the if you get to the white flag at that point, it doesn't matter. The race is on to the finish, basically who gets to the line first, pending admin review if there's any shenanigans, things of that front of approach. So right now, we've got 2 votes, Chris. We got Quabi saying it's going to go to the official distance, no green white checker. Kevin, he's thinking we got 2 green white checkers in us here tonight.
You know, I think I'm going to sit with Kevin on this, just the way that they've been blocking. Boot knocker guys have been doing a good job making this blockade happen, where they kind of overlap each other, but at the same time they destroy anyone else's momentum. So we'll see this as the pace cars getting ready to pull down. We got our 1 regulation green light checkered, so we'll see what happens and if we get more than 1 here.
Yeah. So again, the thing for me is it takes about a lot to kind of build up that speed, build up that momentum. So we may not see that 3rd lane right away and say, yeah, and there's Peter. He's going to split the middle, saying we're going to get 1 green white checkered attempt. So I think we could get this under regulation. We'll have to wait and see. I think it's going to be all about if and when, how fast that 3rd lane comes into action here. As we get the green flag, we are down and away. Again, right now you got teammates on the front row there, the 1 and the 5. So wait for that 3rd lane. Actually, it's going to take 0 time. There goes the 45. There goes the 171 of Robert Rock. They're going to jump straight to the top. But again, I think the momentum wasn't there yet. I don't know if that was the right time to make that move, because now he's going to have opportunity for Kevin Freeze. You see there, we're giving a big push, that 68 car of David Overstreet as we head to the back. And there goes David. He's going to jump to the top. We've got everybody shuffling all over the place here as we get down the backstretch here. Oh, man, that 1 car is shaking. You might be right, Chris. We may not make this one.
Yeah, if you leave if that front car, no matter which lane you're in, if that front car has more than a 2-gap lead, it's almost too dangerous to be out front and get that push, and just that accordion effect's going to really happen here. So we see that 14 have a little bit of a gap, so that 06 is going to come there real soon, right when we get to the line, and you'll see them probably pop out and try to go 3 since they're teammates.
And it looks like prediction going to go to Quawi. We will get to that white flag, Chris. So from here, it is official. As there goes Cody Nagels. He jumps up. Oh, we got contact in the back. But again, white flag is out, so we race this thing to the finish. Unfortunately, you see a big wreck in the back. We've got about 10 or so cars left in the mix here. And now it's up to, will Gabe or JD get it, or will we see those the Limitless drivers get locked on here as we head down the backstretch for the final time?
Just looking at turn 3, we might have a little bit of a pop out here as we see the 5 up top, the 1 on the bottom. I think they like the way that this is going. Right now it's just down to those 2 unless someone else figures out that they want to be in this conversation as well. Not a good push from the 14 here, but the 25 is getting a little bit of push right there. So there's going to be the 1s right there. Is going to be another wreck. Oh, there we go.
Big it's going to be a drag race. JD Crow, Gabe Butler. Gabe's going to get the win. And I think, unfortunately, Kevin Freese had popped the motor, and that's what cost the momentum on the outside line. And I believe Cody Nagel's going to get the 3rd place here tonight. But let's go back. We're going to watch. Actually, let's go back and watch both things here. So first, we're going to take a look at that incident out of turn number 2. But what we do know is Gabe Butler is our winner this evening in that number 1 machine. So let's go back. So I got to hunt down that white flag lap. There we are. Let's go take one more look at this thing. We'll speed it up a little bit because it was right mid-pack here. And again, everybody's just jumping and going wild here to try to find track position. Let's try to see where it really kicks off at there. And I think it was actually right around the 78 car of Donald Stewart. Oh, yeah, I see a little bit of contact to the door-to-door between the 78 and the 68. That bounces him down into that 617. Unfortunately, nothing he could do there. And then from then on, it's just kind of... everybody's just trying to find a way through. You see Charles Johnson gets a little bit of a piece. Dude Conrad as well. And so again,
7.
Yeah, so it's going to be pretty much everybody else. Look at Dude Conrad as well sneaking through that one. I'm watching the 74. Not sure if he gets through it or not. Oh, no, he just about does, but then he gets a piece as well. And then, yeah, everybody else, as I look at the background, look at that 18. He gets a big shot. He almost goes up and over there. And, yeah, it's just pretty much a parking lot at that point. Everybody's trying to find a way through. Like I said, that 1 to go, pretty much all bets are off on that one. So now we jump back up front here, Chris. Let's speed it up down the back stretch. And so you see Kevin Freese, he is completely locked onto the back of that number 5 of JD Crow. And unfortunately, it was just a little too much there for that engine to handle because he's going to pop this thing right out of turn number 4. And I think that may have just kind of kicked off the jumping and craziness that we saw there. And you'll see, we'll slow it down now. We'll see just a little puff of smoke, and I think you'll see the 25 jump straight to the top. As soon as he knows it's going to blow, he tries to do his best to kind of avoid any drama with the guys up front here. And then and you can see there's the flame, there's the puff. And yeah, at that point, Kevin's like, nope, got to get to the top here, tries to play it nice. And then here's the contact a little further back. Here's the 60. Oh, the 62 actually just kind of drifts up a little bit, catches Vicente. Again, just everybody's going for everything they can there. But look at Cody here. This is where Cody's about one of the last cars in this group here. But look at the chaos in front of him. And he's just going to kind of just sneak through here, grab that position there. As you can see them wrecking right behind him, unfortunately. And then, yeah, then there's a 3-wide finish there as everybody's spinning around here. So that is going to be the result. There's Dude Conrad. Tried to sneak through there. Couldn't quite fit it. What a finish there. So with that, Chris, let's chat with some drivers here before we get to our final results. And we're going to kick it off with our 3rd place finisher here. That is going to be the 06 of Cody Nagels. So we're going to drag Cody on in over here. And we had some votes for you tonight, thinking you had the win. Of course, I'll say obviously Dad was going for it. Unfortunately, I say caught up in that incident towards the end of the race and then had to make a late charge with Vicente. But it looked like your car was a little worse from wear there, and then kind of the C's just mostly parted there for you to sneak through at the end to get the top 3. But was it just a case of just too much damage to stay locked onto Vicente there at the end for that final stretch to the finish?
Yeah, I think so. I'd gotten a couple incidents where the wreck kind of happened behind me, but I took a little bit of damage in the rear, so there might have been a little trouble aerodynamic-wise. But I was still a little bit confused because when the one wreck happened, I had to go to the end even though I didn't pit, so I was really confused, and I didn't really know what to do. I mean, I'd lost my track position, and that's just kind of how the whole race had went, so Vince and I just decided to regroup and just salvage whatever we could get out of it. And then when that wreck ensued at the excuse me, at the line, I thought the best thing to do was just accelerate all the way through it and try to like push Vince through the line because it looked like he was spinning, and I was just figuring I'd stay in the throttle and keep him straight as long as I could so he would be spinning across the line instead of being completely wrecked 20 foot short of the line.
Yeah, Cody, a good race, man. You finished the race, now on the racing line, just on the apron. So, it hasn't been a good Dega finish. You and the 14 of Vicente were working pretty hard all night, just trying to, break up the boot knocker blockade. That's what I like to call it. Did you guys feel like you needed a third car to just get everything going?
Oh, absolutely. I wish BK was running this season because it seemed like when BK Anderson ran with us, we had our three, and it made us much more formidable. When Vince and I are out there by ourselves, when you're facing, like you said, the boot knocker brigade, then it's very difficult. All them guys know how to run the super speedway and restrictor plate tracks, and Vince and I are out there, just two of us, and it is really difficult, as you guys know, to get anything going with two. And with three, it seems to be pretty easy. If you got three guys that know how to do it, you'll go to the front if you can push correctly and save temps.
Yeah, so I'm working BK over right now and the YouTube chat as well. So I'll see if I can maybe guilt him or do something or other to get him back on track. Because it was always fun having him on board as well. But yeah, you might have to do a little bit of recruiting, it looks like. But I say we do have some new drivers, some new teams. So maybe we can find some guys that fit that Limitless team really well. And you're right though, Cody. I think, to me, that was a big turning point in the race, though. It looked like your strategy, the timing of your pit stop was absolute perfection. And then unfortunately, yeah, like I said, unfortunately, iRacing the service just does not like cautions mid pit cycles, and it looked like you guys should have kind of cycled through as the leaders, but then I wound up sticking you guys to the back, and like I said, then kind of having to make that huge climb back to the front. So I mean, that being said, it was a really good job to kind of work your way back from the back to the front. So definitely hats off to you and Vicente there to do that. But yeah, I'm sure that's definitely one that you kind of wish you would have got a little bit of slack from iRacing, if you will, and be like, yeah, we should have been 1-2 there.
Yeah, definitely. I thought we had a 1-2 punch to get a good finish out of it, which we ultimately did, and we got good points for it. So it was a good race, but to get there was very, very difficult, and we had our trials and tribulations with iRacing, but thankfully we were able to overcome that with a little bit of help there at the end.
Yeah, I mean, you two are monsters, I say. And yeah, I mean, for, like I said, pretty much just a 2-car team right now to get the results you guys did, it was really impressive. And I say, yeah, so I'm working him and say he's looking and say he's going to see what the schedule looks like next Sunday. So I'll keep working him and see if I can do something. I say maybe we'll work the guilt trip a little bit more as well. But Cody, great job tonight, Matt. I know Dad was watching, so definitely wanted to give you the floor here. Any thanks and shout outs for that podium tonight?
I want to thank you guys at Green White Checker TV for putting on a very good broadcast. Gael, you do a great job. Let me see here. Chris, are you, let me just ask, are you like fairly new to broadcasting with Gael? Because I don't think I've seen you before.
I definitely am. This is probably my fourth or fifth one, and I'm just happy to be here, testing out the waters here, and just trying to make sure that I'm not stepping on anybody's toes.
Well, thank you for broadcasting with Gael. I appreciate the two-man team, and I think it elevates the broadcasting experience when you're watching it back, and you're able to listen to two different perspectives instead of one. So appreciate you guys both. Thank you to Limitless. Vince, we did a great job, man. I'm not sure really how we were able to salvage a third and a fifth out of this, but you're amazing, dude. And BK, please come back. We need you as a third, man. It's just not the same without you. And thank you to my dad. It was a good night.
All right, man. Yeah, like I said, a great job tonight. I say, like you said, also it was tough sledding you, but you made it happen. Got back to the front, and like I said, you kind of helped shove your teammate into a top 5 still as well. So awesome job tonight, man. Say go enjoy this one. Say race 2 of 12 over. Say now we'll be able to focus on. I'd say race. I guess actually I should say focus on race 2 on Thursday night with the trucks. But yeah, so go enjoy this one. Relax a little bit, and we'll see you hopefully on Thursday, man.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, that was our third place finisher there, Cody Nagels. Let's jump over now to our runner-up in that number 5 of JD Crow. I think JD's wishing that his partner there in that Kellogg's machine had just a little more temperature left to give at the end, because that was a great push with you and Gabe there at the end, but let's say just unfortunately just lost your help at the absolute end there. But man, I mean, you had to work, and I think for you, obviously the turning point in the race was that caution at towards the end of the race, because was there miscommunication or what happened there during the pit stop cycle? Because I kind of expected all the boot knockers to come in there for that last scheduled stop at the end together. You came in about 3 laps before them, and unfortunately completely on your own. And it looked like that was going to probably be night over for you until that caution came on and just kind of gave you new life there.
Well, thanks, Kyle. Yeah, I'll let you know what happened there. First of all, we just want to, reach out to your dad, let him know we're thinking about him. I know he's dealing with some issues now, but we all hope it all works out and he gets to feeling better and gets his energy, and hopefully he got to watch us race, and that finish kind of got him excited off the edge of his seat. So yeah, we messed up. We messed up early. We didn't pit crew forgot to take our qualifying setup out of the car, so our brakes were all jacked up, and we got a couple breaks early where we were able to pit under caution and not have to come in hot. I'm sure you saw me come in when I did come in. I wore out the front tires from turn 4 all the way to the pit entry line. So I told the team, said, "Hey guys, I think the pack's spread out far enough. I'll be okay, and I'll have enough laps to maybe get back to y'all before it's over." And I just didn't want to pit with them and the group and risk, taking out a few of them. So I came in early, got a little bit less gas than they would have had to got, and was able to cycle around. Wasn't too far off of them when that caution came out, so we might have been able to get back to the pack before the end of the race. But we just had to make the best of what we had, and what we were dealing with wasn't fun to come in at 190 miles an hour and try to slow down to get into pit lane with nothing but front brakes.
Yeah, great race, JD. If this was Daytona, you probably would have won that race. Just lost it by a couple hundred feet. But you probably made the move of the race, where I saw you come all the way from the bottom side, or sorry, the top side, came all the way down, and you and Gabe just decided to kind of play two-party parade, where either one of y'all was in the middle and one of y'all was at the bottom. It seemed like y'all were overlapping each other and just making a blockade. Well, I'm kind of coining that term right now. Is you guys had a boot knocker blockade. Was that the original plan?
Well, I don't want to call it a blockade. We were racing pretty damn hard with each other, but we know we can race each other pretty hard and tight and push each other and try to make sure that we don't get boxed in from the other guys and then wind up 9th or 10th before it's all over. So we were able to keep each other and keep the pack at race speed and not check everybody up and try to see what happened for that last lap coming off 4 and it worked out. Dang, I would have liked to. I was glad we had somewhat of a drag race. He didn't have much of a push either, but I sure wasn't expecting Kevin to blow up on a green white checker like that. But I think the traffic and stuff made him cycle the heat temps on his motor quite a bit throughout the race, and it probably just wouldn't hold up for just needed another 100 yards, and I think we'd have been okay.
Yeah, it was a great fight. Yeah, and we definitely saw you guys were fighting tooth and nail there. What you and Gabe especially, say one would get the run, they jump to the top, they make the push around, then you'd kind of take over and do the same thing. As you could tell you guys weren't just going to sit there in line and try to push one another. You were going to try to make one another earn it there, and it was a lot of fun to watch. Some big moves there put on towards the end of the race, man. But yeah, it was a great one.
We did talk about it, during that caution, what we wanted to do, and just based on the lineup that was behind us, I told him, well, they're gonna take me 3 wide pretty quick. So, and unfortunately, I thought that would have given some of our other guys a chance to get to the middle, and Kevin came up there hard and really, man, gave me a heck of a run there for that last lap and a half. And just like I said, man, I wish he'd had just a little bit more temp reserve for another 100 yards, and it'd been a great finish for all 3 of us.
Yeah, it was as a, like I said, didn't quite pan out, but it was a great run there, and it was a lot of fun to watch there. And yeah, you guys were awesome tonight. It was a lot of fun. The whole field was just running so aggressively, but still so well. Just little hiccups, obviously there here and there, but yeah, it was a great job tonight, JD. So definitely, and I think also that's going to net you the highest climber of tonight's race as well, with 20 positions gained. So great job there as well, sir. So yeah, definitely want to give you the floor here. Any thanks and shouts for that runner up this evening?
Well, that's nice to know because we worked our butt off and we just wanted the best finish we could. We really needed to bounce back after the first race. So we also had an instant free. So that's an extra 3 points. So I think we maximized everything except for winning tonight, and it'll sure come in handy down the road. Thank all the guys that ran with tonight, Gabe, Jimmy, Eric, and all the boot knocker part 2 guys, Dude and Kevin. Also, I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody, Zach. We all communicate well together. We all have good teamwork, good strategy for the races, and of course, got to thank the guys down at jconcepts.net in Florida for the colors. Peter DeBorgia for putting the pattern together for us on the car and our truck that'll be coming out this week. So, man, you guys in the booth, Charles and all the guys at Area 51 that put these races on, these are getting pretty intense, but man, they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, you guys definitely make there's days where I'm feeling a lot happier to be in the booth and on track, because yeah, you make it look so easy, and I'm just super tense even just watching it. So just awesome job though tonight, JD. It was a lot of fun to watch and be a part of, and looking forward to see what you guys got coming up. Yeah, definitely looking forward to see the paint scheme on Thursday on that truck as well. Like I said, yeah, and you're right, Peter does a great job with his paints and everything. So looking forward to see what he's got up his sleeves for you. So go enjoy this one, man. We'll see if we can find a way to cool off Kevin's radiator for future races for you. But yeah, won't be surprised to see you up front here in the finishing or the rest of the season, man.
Great, I appreciate it, and congratulations to Gabe on the win, and Kevin, appreciate the help there, and we'll go get them next time.
All right, that is our runner-up tonight, JD Crow. That leaves one least. I can't talk tonight, Chris. I don't think I smell toast, so I'm doing all right. One last driver to talk with. That's going to be the number 1 of Gabe Butler. So he got the win on Thursday night. It's going to kind of complete the sweep, if you will, for the series. Getting the win here tonight at Talladega in the Xfinity Series. And man, Gabe, this wasn't an easy one. You guys had to hustle these things around tonight. It was wild watching even just teammates. You guys are making some big moves on one another. And that last restart, there was a couple times where that car was not pointed straight very much. You had to definitely keep that thing pointed in the right direction there at the end, because you were getting some big shoves there from that inside line. I mean, just take us to the race, got the pole, get the win. But obviously anything but easy from pretty much from lap 1 on to lap 78 here.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough race, but I mean, I thought we did pretty well overall. We tried to stay up front most of the time and had real good pit stops and strategy and so forth. But yeah, those last few laps are a little crazy. Actually, I was actually trying to block less a little bit. I didn't want him to get up in front of JD, so that's why I was kind of squirrely a little bit. It wasn't necessarily him bumping me, and so we was just trying to hold position there, and then got lucky at the end. And Kevin got unlucky, unfortunately, blew up, and I was able to get by JD, squeak by him.
I feel like, Gabe, we keep come to this conversation where I don't know how you do it. It just seems like you're bulletproof. You led, I think, most of the laps this race. It seems like you were always up front between you and the 5 of JD. How was the race for you? Just you guys kind of swapping positions and just holding everybody back there. Seems like you guys were just owning the field tonight.
Yeah, like I said, we were trying to control it and stay up front and keep as many of us up front as we could. And I think 4 or 5 of us, maybe 6, probably got in the top 10. So I mean, overall, that's a strong team performance right there. And like I said, in these super speedways, it's all about your team, man. You can't do it without them. So.
How's it? Yeah, and I don't know how you do it. So I think Peter, Peter definitely pointed at you as the winner for this evening. As I say, it's kind of hard pressed not to vote for you more often than not. But Yeah, actually, I think his odds were negative 250 to win any race for you. So the odds always terrible. But yeah, just an awesome job once again tonight, Gabe. I mean, like I said, I mean you. And that's the things. That's what you do. You just keep that car in a good spot and keep it in good shape and just able to capitalize at the end. But I know it's not easy. You make it look easy, so hats off to you for doing that. But definitely want to give you the floor here for any thanks and shouts for that win this evening.
Obviously, big shout out to Team Boot Knocker and all the guys that we were racing with tonight. We two Discord rooms, so we were in pretty good shape, and good to see Dude, the OG, back in the house. So hopefully he can get on a little bit more and get himself a win there. And I want to give a shout out to Peter if he's listening. Congratulations to him and his wife on the birth of their new baby. That's always that's a real extra life there. I know that's his big thing that he likes to sponsor. And of course, you guys in the booth, and we're doing a fantastic job as usual. And Area 51 for putting on this show.
Yeah, no, yeah, saying you're exactly right. It's great news for Peter and his wife. Yeah, it's super happy for them, like you mentioned, and saying obviously, like I said, didn't get the full results you're hoping for the team, but at one point, of course, you guys running 1 through 6 was looking pretty good as well. So, so you guys have shown you're gonna have to watch out for this whole team. Even if you split each other up, it's still gonna be hard pressed to find a way around you guys. And so I think Chris is onto something. I say that Boot Knocker blockade, because it's tough to get around you guys at times, but it's going to be fun, and everybody's going to step up their game a little bit more over the course of the season. I know you guys will be ready for it, so it's going to be a lot of fun, man. So enjoy this one, Gabe. Looking forward to seeing you back on Thursday in the trucks, and yeah, enjoy this one, man, and we'll talk soon. Congratulations.
Thanks again, guys, and quick shout out to your dad, Jim. There, we're all thinking about him, of course, so hopefully he had the energy to watch there and get a little bit of excitement in his life. So shout out to your dad.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it means a ton. Like I said, you guys have been supporting him and everything. It means a ton, and yeah, so definitely I'll be passing over the info as well tomorrow as also. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Yeah, like I said, I know my brother was over there with him. It sounds like he was able to get him set up on the laptop to watch a little too. So yeah, appreciate that a ton, and yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys more. And yeah, hopefully we'll get him back comfortable home soon, and as say maybe might take a little while, but get him back behind the wheel here soon as well. But yeah, great job tonight, Gabe, and looking forward to seeing you the rest of the season, man.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
All right, Chris, that is our race winner, that number 1 of Gabe Butler. Again, just makes it look easy. Obviously anything but. This guy's a monster, and again, just there's no ego, there's no nothing behind it. He just kind of, it's one of those things like puts on his boots and goes to work, and more often than not comes up right around the top 5, top 3, getting wins.
I feel like I sweat more in this booth just watching these guys, week in and week out. Whenever I do get a chance to come up here, and I think I've interviewed Gabe 2 or 3 times already. So there's definitely something that he's got going on that just I don't know. This man's invincible. He's got that GOAT status going on. It seems like I'm still new to the league, still trying to learn everybody's names. Definitely like the fan viewership and the interest that we got going on here that we're generating. But man, it's every single race this week has been electric. It's been exciting, and I can't wait to watch the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, and say maybe it's the Guinness. I'll say we'll have to maybe see if maybe that's the magic trick there in that number 1 machine. So, because he definitely rocks that Guinness paint scheme. Always a good looking one. I'll say going back to his heritage with that number 1 machine. So. Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. Yeah, definitely agree with you there. Loved all the commentary and chat going on YouTube. I say really appreciate you guys kind of chiming in and say, like I said, like Chris mentioned too. Yeah, feel free. We love seeing you guys chat and kind of add input. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask us. It just adds a little bit more, I feel like, to all the broadcasts as well. So, but yeah, like you said, really appreciate everybody. Again, also, of course, everybody watching, supporting, racing. Always appreciate, of course, the support for our dad as well. It means a ton. I said he's fighting hard. He's gonna get better. So he's a stubborn old man. I don't see him. There's no quitting that guy. So looking forward to go seeing him tomorrow. So yeah, if you're still watching, Papa, love you. I'll see you tomorrow. We're gonna get that damn thing out of your nose, and we're gonna get you 100% here soon. So Chris, always appreciate you, man. It's a lot of fun doing these with you. Love racing with you. Love just golfing, chatting, whatever it may be. It's a lot of fun to do these with you, and of course all the other help we've got. Matt Wagner, great admins like they mentioned, Charles and Dean, all the guys, and of course Selfishly, Green White Checkered, Maxwell, Boomer, yourself. Missing you, Steve, too. I wish you could hopefully get back here on and get some broadcasting with you as well. We got a great little group over here, so just looking forward to continue the season some more. So till then, we will be calling it for tonight. We will be doing Area 51. We'll be racing tomorrow night with the 79 Lotuses. Not broadcast, but we will be broadcasting Tuesday night with the Dark Horse Area 51 IR18 IndyCars. So stay tuned for that one. And of course, back on Thursday for the trucks, and then once again Sunday next week for the Superspeedway Xfinity. So until then, stay safe, take care. Hope you all are doing well. Give your loved ones an extra hug for everybody here tonight, and take care. Have a good night.